Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube? SEL0320. I'm back, but I'm back for a spoiler-filled review. So if you have not seen the movie, do not listen to me. Do not even, like, if I'm talking, just peanut style that joint. Don't listen to me, because I'm about to go in on a whole different kind of level with this stuff. I'm actually doing the other video as well, and I'm waiting for that to finish up, and it's gonna be, oh my gosh. Anyway, without further ado, X-Men Days of Future Past. Did I love it? Yes. Did I want more? Yes. Is the end post-credit scene about a major villain that I cannot even believe they went into? Yes. 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 I don't know if y'all want me to do the punchline. I'm kind of like a straight through the eyes kind of person. So the end credit scene, to explain it for people, then I'll go back and talk about other stuff as soon as I get my phone. You have an Egyptian scene at the end, and you see like different matter and different objects moving, non-metal, sand, everything just moving around, and you're looking at some people chanting a specific name, and you're like, whoa, whoa. People that don't know the character are like, what is this crap? But I know. And all of a sudden you see a person just sitting in the epicenter of everything. It turns full circle around to him. Apocalypse. A young rendition version of Apocalypse, just a side shot. And that, to me, that was like looking at the Avengers and saying, take that, Thanos. Take that, everything else. I mean, it seriously was that kind of level for me. I can't speak for everybody else because they don't even know who in the heck this character is. But to know that he is the most ultimate character they have to face off against, and what he can do, who he can manipulate, who he can change, like, it's gonna be awesome. And then the fact is that Channing Tatum has been confirmed to be in Gambit in this one, meaning that potentially you're gonna have the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Oh my gosh. Hold on one second, because I'm about to go into the whole entire review. Alright. So, off the gate, you got the beginning of the movie, you got Professor Xavier, which the only nitpick that I had about this movie, reason why I did not give it a 10, is that they did not explain to me how Professor Xavier is still alive. I think what they're saying is that going into the beginning of the movie, you see a few of the X-Men characters still alive. You see Kitty Pryde, you see Iceman, you see a few different other characters, but I'm gonna try to name them off because right now I'm like walking blind basically. You see characters such as, of course, Bishop. You see other characters like Colossus. You see new characters we've never seen before, which is Blink. She has the ability of actually going and teleporting, which I thought her character was epic. I thought that like they would use her so much in the fact that when you're trying to escape from these Sentinels that are so deadly, because they mimic every single mutant's powers, and they counteract it in a way that's like, what can you do against something like this? Once it's got a hold of you and it's got your powers, you're stuck. There's nothing you can really truly do to survive. But she was able to get them out of tight squeezes. And so in the beginning, it was Bishop, Kitty Pryde, Iceman, and I think that Sunspot was another character as far as Warpath as well. Sunspot, he had basically, to me, he's like Johnny Storm, to be quite honest. I don't understand what's the difference between the characters, but anyway, then you had Warpath, which is really good at knives and combat, which was pretty awesome because I think that guy, was it Bobo? Yeah, Bobo Stewart. He had played in the Twilight series, a younger kid, and he's beefed up. He's actually got into the character. I was like, he did a pretty decent job. But these sub characters, how they played them so well is that when in the beginning, and you're seeing them fighting and trying to fend off, and all of a sudden they get grabbed and get killed, and you're like, what? And then Kitty's just sitting there like against Bishop's head, and I'm like, what kind of power is this? What's going on? But I knew the comics. And so all of a sudden she just vaps away, and it was like it never happened. And you see them regroup with the group, and basically they have the ability of going back in time to change things. Now, I still don't understand or know how Professor Xavier is alive. Now, I know at the end of X-Men Last Stand that he transferred to another body, or supposedly his brother. They don't explain that. I don't understand. Because Kitty Pryde was clear that she had only gone back as far as, like, I think a couple weeks. She had never gone all the way back and changed the course of the professor's history or anything like that. So I don't get that. If y'all know, please explain it to me in the bottom of the credits, the bottom of these comments. The way that they handled the younger versions of Professor Xavier and Magneto were just epic, because it showed the depth of their character, and it also showed to me that James McAvoy's Professor Xavier had a lot of feelings for Raven / Jennifer Lawrence / Mystique, and also, to me, Michael Fassbender also did as well. Now, both of them were using her. In my opinion, they both were really using her, but I think that they both really do love her. And I don't know if they're capable of doing it, because you got Michael Fassbender's character that brought out the naturalistic instinct of this character and what she could be, that she doesn't have to cover up and she could be this and be that. But then he also has, like, you're not Raven, you're Mystique. Like, you have to go and defend your honor of this and that and the other. He's got all these kind of vindictive motivations from the trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, or whatever you want to call it, from getting tortured for years. You know, it's understandable. And then you have Professor Xavier, who was just like, thought of her as a sister, thought of her as nothing more than this and that, as a partner, versus like seeing her for what she is and the beauty that she is and the fact that there was nothing wrong with her. Those things, like, they play and they all cross here. I felt like, honestly, they were fighting for her affection and her heart. It was really about, to me, actually, Jennifer Lawrence's character engaging to who she needs to be, the change that needs to take place. That even in the older X-Men, that she wasn't the character that she was supposed to be, you know? And I kind of felt that watching the character. I was like, man, she can fight, but dang, like, she's just ruthless, you know? And I understand her ruthlessness, but I knew there was more depth to her character, and this showed it in a whole different way, and Jennifer Lawrence just played it like a T. I was like, how can you act through something like that? Like, all those skills and stuff, and doing the hand-to-hand combat scenes, and then just putting Hugh Jackman in the midst of these characters that are so younger and like their older counterparts that said, like, you will not be able to truly get us or gauge us how he's supposed to be, but you need to try. He's like, I'm not on the subtle level, but he brought another element that I didn't think that Wolverine was capable of really conveying, especially to Professor Xavier and even to Magneto to the degree, because after the point that he tells them what happened, and he tells them, like, man, this was, like, this is our reality. Like, countless millions of mutants and people are gonna die. Like, we have no future, basically. And it pushes in Charles' mind that, man, I can't keep thinking about myself, you know? And then in Magneto's mind, he's like, this is gonna change by any means necessary. I mean, the fact that he would go and blindly go, and this is, I mean, like I said, this is a spoiler review, but at the point that they found out that Mystique was the trigger, in a sense, of the reason why Trask's project was able to go through is because they used her blood and they experimented on her, and in addition to that, her killing Trask propelled all this. So Magneto was like, nope, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna kill her. But there are other things, there's so many different things that, like, I want to talk about, because the character Quicksilver, for instance, like, his introduction was just so funny. And I mean, he doesn't wear a costume. I don't know why they put his character up as introduce him as wearing a costume. He didn't really have a costume. He put some goggles on and stuff, but at any rate, his character was very likable, and his powers were amazing to watch, but his interaction with Magneto was a thing that I don't know if people caught, but that is his dad, you know? And he even made mention, like, you know, my mom knew somebody that could manipulate metal or something like that. And then you see later on his mother look on the news and see Magneto up there, and he's seeing the news as well. And I think that that's, to me, a trigger that he's gonna try to work with his father again. And I think his dad, of course, is going to manipulate that power. He saw firsthand breaking him out, you know. That's my son, you know. Take pride in that. But I mean, there's just so many subtle other things. Oh, how could I forget? I have to talk about this before I even end this. Okay, when I saw the whatchamacallit, international event that was the X-Men premiere, they went all these different cities, and you got, for whatever reason, James Marsden, who plays Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, and then you have old girl Jean Grey accompany him. And I'm like, okay, they were just saying like, well, his character's not gonna be in the movie. Maybe we can make it as a younger counterpart for the coming apocalypse, which the coming apocalypse movie is coming out, I think, 2 years from now. But they were saying that they just wanted to be there to support the show. When everything was said and done, when everything was finished, and I mean, it was an epic end to it, because I was like, man, Mystique about to take this dude out. But when she didn't, I was like, wow, she still is holding on to that hope, you know. But it was crazy because you see Logan and he's just drowning. I'm like, what the heck? And then he just wakes up. This scene in and of itself was just epic, because you had Anna Paquin back as Rogue with Bobby, or aka Iceman. You got Storm, you got Colossus, Kitty, everybody, generally from the first cast, were there, including, which I didn't even know, Kelsey Grammer came back as Beast. I was like, oh snap. But this was the thing that blew me. So I was thinking, I was like, Wolverine's probably like, okay, what? They're all alive. What if he looks around and I look, I'm like, she got red hair. Something's wrong. Something wrong. This can't be her. She turns around. It was Jean Grey. Not Phoenix. Just Jean Grey. Okay? I was like, oh snap. And then he's about to touch her and hold her face like this. All of a sudden something stops his hand. Look. It was Cyclops. I was like, oh shoot. Get it. And then of course, last but not least, you got the Professor, because whatever reason you want to explain to how Professor's still alive is irrelevant at this point, because he was never killed by Phoenix or by Jean Grey, ultimately. But I thought that was such an awesome scene that it was a perfect end to this movie. Where else could I go with this? Man, so many different things that happened. Because even at the end, like, there were epic moments that Ian McKellen had done, that Kitty Pryde had done, just trying to protect Wolverine's body in the end. And they were willing to sacrifice it all. And I was like, wow. People getting killed left and right. And I mean, it was a lot, man, to just witness and take, because even though I knew that they'd have to make it out alive, I didn't know how the continuity of the storyline was gonna shift and change. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know how it's gonna go, because now the future is rewritten in such a awesome kind of light now that they could honestly make one movie just on the future characters, and then they could go and take everybody from First Class in this movie and make their own story as well. I'm not sure if they do that. I hope, honestly, that they do that. Make two different series. Tell the backstory and all that stuff of what happened and how Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique pulled Wolverine out of the XYZ. How does he get his adamantium claws ultimately? And then go and tell what is going to take place in, is Apocalypse in the future or in the now? And probably he's in both. They're probably going to go back and flip-flop like they did with this other one, but who's to know? Anyway, it was a lot, y'all. Evan Peters, to me, did a good job as Quicksilver. Hugh Jackman did an awesome job again as Wolverine. It's probably, to me, it's probably, I liked his Wolverine in this one almost better than the rest of them, because it went through all the different sections and dissections of Wolverine on a deeper level. Bishop, he did a decent job. I thought his character, he wasn't cheesy, he wasn't corny, he was trying to live. Now, I will say this, there was a point, and I have to go back, I'm not sure. I'm gonna look at the movie again tomorrow, but if y'all look at the beginning of the scene, you will see a little boy, and he's got an M right here. But I thought that Bishop was the one that had the M, but I'm trying to remember okay, Cable has his eyes missing. Okay, so, but did he have an M? I just, for whatever reason, I assumed or thought that that boy was Cable. For whatever reason, I'm not sure why. But maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just an M on his face. But anyway, will they put characters like Cable in this? They've already confirmed Gambit. They've already confirmed Apocalypse. I mean, are they gonna bring Angel back? I mean, to me, everything has changed now, and everything for the better. So, Bryan Singer, thank you, my brother. You fixed what X-Men 3 destroyed, and what X-Men First Class had to dig out. You know, so yeah, I can't rant anymore. If there's anything else y'all want me to talk about more, or any thoughts that y'all had about it, I promise you, I'll make another spoiler review. Leave your comments below, and we can go and pick it up. If y'all want to actually go and maybe we go and do, let's say, a live spoiler, just conversation about it. Let's do it. Shoot, I'm going to go see it again tomorrow. So anyway, it's just been an awesome night. It's been a blessed night. Matter of fact, blessed day. Lord blessed that I was able to get a new car. Work went well. I was able to go and see this awesome movie and fellowship with other people that were enthused about it, talk about it with friends online, have family coming up, Memorial Day weekend. It's just a great day to live, y'all. It was epic. I have to end it on that note. I thank God. Anyway, that ends the spoiler review. For now, for the X-Men Days of Future Past, let me know what y'all think about how y'all want to progress into me going more deeper into the spoilers. But anyway, it was fun, y'all. Later. Have a good night. Have a good evening. Have a good morning. Stay blessed.